Listen to me, everybody. Parler was hacked. Parler was big hacked, but before we get to that hacking, I want to talk to you about a couple of things that led up to that. So Parler positioned itself as this like massive free speech. You can say whatever you want until, you know, Nazis came in, like we just read, taking pictures of their own poop and like making like Play-Doh like snowmen out of it in the comment section, and they had to ban that. People being big meanie heads, they had to ban all of that, and then it kind of just collapsed in on itself until it became a conservative echo chamber. And as the conservative echo chamber it is, it got really bad. And with the storming of the Capitol building the other day, and lots of people plotting on Parler with no repercussions from the moderation team that exists, if any exist, honestly, Apple gave Parler 24 hours to enforce moderation on their app, or else they're going to kick them from the Apple Play Store. Google said the same thing on their Google Play Store. But now Parler, instead of actually fixing the problems that led their app to being used as basically a hive for like right-wing terrorists to use to their own discretion to plot to take over the government, they just ran to Tucker Carlson. So here's the CEO, the Parler executive here, staring directly through you, staring a hole through your forehead. Look at her face. She is not okay.
The other thing is that we are competing with other platforms who have decided that they want to surveil the people on their platform 24/7 without any particularized suspicion. And, you know, on the one hand, people don't like to live in the world of Orwell's 1984. And then on the other hand, a lot of people seem to want to pressure social media to do more to moderate, as they call it, content on their platforms. But that would require 24-hour surveillance. And we don't think that that is consistent with the principles of America.
So what the fuck does that even mean? I'm sorry, but just like listening to that, what is that? What are you talking? What are you talking about? Like we saw a little bit of this yesterday, but I think when she's thinking of surveil, she's like thinking of the Patriot Act. Like Parler sends out an executive dude who's sitting in the tree outside of your window with binoculars on as you're like one leg up on your desk scrolling through Parler, Cheeto dust all like caught up in your chest hair, jerking off as you're watching like people talk about how much of a god Emperor Trump is and how he's gonna save us and Q's gonna bring down the wrath of God to wash away the liberals out of the country. I don't know what's going on, but it's, yeah, and like Orwell too. Everyone's always talking about Orwell. So right now, right, like this woman's bringing up freaking Orwell. I feel like nobody who's talking about George Orwell in 1984 has neither read 1984 or Brave New World or anything in that vein, because the way they talk about it is just ridiculous. Like, what do you mean? So you have these people being like, oh yeah, doing any sort of moderation to stop like child trafficking on our on our site. That's Orwell. That's 1980. What do you mean 1984? Like what? Oh gosh, I don't. It's so stupid. They think that anytime you do anything to stop people from doing some things on your platform is 19. Can you imagine like some random guy like jumps like a deer through your living room window and then like starts dragging his ass across the carpet like with like a little shit poking out, and he starts like crayon drawing all over, like drawing like crop circles all over your carpet in the living room floor, and you kick him out, and then this one pops her head out from around the corners like, that's Orwellian. That's 1984. You're trying to control his speech. What do you mean? Okay, but anyways, Amazon decided to take the final step when it comes to getting away from Parler, and Amazon provided a hosting service for Parler. And since they decided to do literally no moderation whatsoever, they pulled the plug on them, and Parler went down. And Parler's still down while they're working to find some other like batshit hosting site to host their dog shit app. But before that happened, something really interesting happened. Well, what was that? It was a hack, a big hack. Every deleted Parler post, many with users' location data, has been archived. Now what happened, right? What happened? Let's go over what happened, because it's actually really, really interesting. So Here's a description of what went down according to someone with far greater technical knowledge than me. So a group of developers latched on to the press release that Twilio put out at midnight last night. In a press release, Twilio accidentally revealed the servers which Parler was using, the services which Parler was using. Turns out that it was all the security authentications that were used to register a user. This allowed anyone to create a user and not have to verify an email address and immediately have a logged on account. So just thinking of this, can you imagine how poorly your site has to be put together, just cobbled together from like freshman year computer comp sci students to think that this was going to be something that is going to be good for you? Wow. This is what happens when you have a bunch of 60-year-old, 70, 80-year-old billionaires fund putting together like a conservative app for you to post about how great it would be if you had all your like filthy plebeians who combined together wouldn't make one 1/100th of the amount of money that you make in a year in their entire lifetimes to support candidates to support candidates to lower their tax rate. This is what you get when you have them put you together a site. But because of that access, it gave them access to the behind the login box API that's used to deliver content, all content, videos, images, user profiles, user information, etc. But what it also did reveal is which users had administration rights and moderation rights. So what happened is they were able to see which users had moderation and which ones didn't. And they were able to see, part of their login. So they didn't need the password. So they took that back into the logon screen after they got into the the behind the scenes on Parler, and then they put in that information, but they didn't need the password, and they got like booped right into the reset password. So now they were able to just create administration users, and then, as it says in the bottom, this group of internet warriors used that account to create a handful of administration accounts, and then created a script that ended up creating millions of fake administration accounts. Now that they had a way of creating admin accounts without interruption, they created a doctor image, basically a virtual machine called a warrior that anyone could download, and when fired up, it could immediately start collecting data off of Parler in a coordinated fashion. And so the thing is, how can one fuck up so bad? I don't know. But it's really incredible how poorly they messed up. Like, the security on this website was made so poorly. This was cobbled together so cheaply that this extremely easy backdoor channel that these people were able to find out were able to all of the data, videos, images, and posts from the metadata, including GEO location from all images and videos, and the connections to all the accounts that posted it, has been since midnight being uploaded to various cloud drives and storage arrays for the purpose of archiving this information for later retrieval by law enforcement and by the public, or by open source intelligence communities. So here's a real So basically, they were able to what Parler did. It didn't wipe information that was part of images. So your phone does this. Your phone does this normally, and if you have any pictures on your computer, you can see this too. You can go into like the properties, or when you're on your phone, you can click on an image and you can go to details, and you can find things like the exact time, the exact place, like things like that you could find connected to these pictures and images. So if you ever took a picture in your house, it gives you the GPS latitude and longitude, rotation, and your entire coordinates of your home, the megapixels, the phone that it was taken on, the time it was taken on, the date, everything. This is a lot of leaked information. That's incredible. It's honestly an incredible failure on Parler's part. And here's the kicker that this says. All of this information was thought to be secure and private by individuals who are making posts. A significant number of individuals went through the process of being a verified citizen on Parler, which means, and this, you may have heard about this a little bit before, they took a picture of their real life driver's license. So now hundreds, thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of people who wanted to become verified citizens on Parler, their driver's license, their name, their date, the county they live in, their birth date, their real full name, all of these things are now linked on Parler. So you were wondering why we were talking yesterday about how these people were able to get like rounded up so quickly. Wasn't it a little surprising that all of these people who stormed the Capitol, yeah, they weren't wearing masks and everything, but they were identified so quickly? Don't you think it's interesting? It's interesting because they were taking pictures on Parler. They were verified. They had their the FBI has just been sitting there drinking up all of this metadata, and categorizing it, and cataloging it, my bad, in their servers. And that's how they found these people so fast. They were using this shitty ass cobbled together WordPress garbage website that leaked all of their information, like that allowed them to be put on no-fly list the same day. Another example of people not being able to use all of the not knowing how to use the internet. I mean, 60-year-olds freaking putting their, imagine your real driver's license. You must be stupid. You have to be some sort of idiot to do this. That's how you were able to be put on a fly list the second you stepped out of the Capitol, because the FBI saw you had your driver's license and then instantly put it to American Airlines, and they kicked you off faster than you can say stop the steal. What an absolute buffoon. Imagine being this fucking dumb. It's honestly incredible. Oh, cherry on top too, the program that they were using to host a lot of their like in-house users, they were using the free trial version. We were notified that Parler was using the free trial part of Okta's product, and we have terminated Parler's access to the Okta platform. So using the back end of their website was on a free trial. They were using, for their website, hosting sensitive user material, they were using a free trial of a service to host their administrators. Yes, a free trial. Dude, they were, I don't even know what to say at this point. It's just so funny to think that it's like it. Imagine you set up an entire. Didn't they use WordPress? Yes, the whole thing is based off of WordPress, and they were using a free trial of a software to host their administrators for moderation. It's like, imagine making a whole website and promoting it where your business model, you use it like your normal like dude who has torrent uses WinRAR. Like every time they have to load up for moderation, they have to click like your free trial ends in 16 days. Like as you're scrolling through people's like real driver's licenses and their home address. These people are so dumb. Oh my gosh. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. You can't make it up. Yeah, like someone said that Parler this whole time has been like an FBI honeypot. I honestly, at this point, I'm thinking it might be. And that would be a really smart trick to like, FBI is behind. It's like a right-wing coup inside of their own country. You know, they just make this big trap. Yeah. Ooh, hop on in. We're this super free speech. All things go crazy, dude. We're part of the rebellion. Just hop on in, dude. All you have to do is give us your driver's license. And they're like, oh wow, that's so cool, dude. I hate free speech, bro. Yeah. I hate anti-free speech, neo-Marxist, homo-fascist, like neo-SJW, Twitter and Facebook, bro. They're shutting their speech down. I'm so glad to be on Parler, and like, yeah, you are so glad, aren't you? Yeah. Just, hey, you know, this is so cool, dude. Just give us your ID. Oh, dude, you're social security number 2. Dude, man, that'd be so sick if you did that. And they're like, oh, dude, it'd be so cool. And then they just, you know. There you go.